I'll close with this. That's next week. I'll close with this about this week. When Thummim, the Urim and Thummim were two indescribable, controversial pieces of equipment that lived in the high priest's uniform. Put my high priest picture on the screen. The high priest's job was to go into the holies of holies. And when he went into the holies of holies, there was a garment that he wore. And the garment that he wore up until he got to the veil in the temple had 12 stones on it. The 12 stones are for the 12 tribes of Israel. Those stones meant that God's people were on his heart, that we have a God who cares about his people. He doesn't just reign and rule without any concern for his people, but he carries his people on his heart. Inside what the priest is holding in his hand is incense, and the incense is for the prayers of the saints. And so when you saw the priest coming in with the censer and the incense on, he was carrying the prayers of the saints into the presence of the Lord to burn on the altar of incense, a sweet smelling savor to stop the stench of the burning flesh of the sacrifice that was made on the outside, that we might be able to come boldly into the presence of God. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I'm going to play around with it just a minute so you can see something. What you cannot see on the priest, what you cannot see is, put it back up, where'd it go? What you cannot see on the priest are two stones called Urim and Thummim. Urim and Thummim were hidden inside the bosom of the priest. Whenever there was a decision to be made, these were the prophetic stones that released the information for the decision to be made. And they are called Urim and Thummim. There is not much written about it, how to use it, how it worked. Some say they cast lots, some say they threw it this way. We don't know. But we do know that you did not see the high priest without those prophetic stones on the inside. When I talk about a priest, I'm talking about worship. I'm talking about you are a royal priesthood, a holy nation. You are a worshiper of God. But if you function as a priest and you don't function as a prophet and have something on the inside that is able to bring information to you so that you can understand God's purpose, then you're worshiping out the will, worshiping out the will, worshiping outside of the will of God, worshiping outside the purpose of God, running all over the church, taking up time. We can't do nothing for you, acting all crazy in service. You can worship all day long because you don't have discernment on the inside as to what is appropriate at any time or moment. Doesn't mean that you're not sincere in your worship, but you need Urim and Thummim on the inside so that not only can you worship God, but you can make decisions. When decisions needed to be made, the priest had the ability through these two stones to be able to determine the will of God. What good is it to worship a God that you can't determine his will? What we are talking about today goes beyond just the garments of the priest to the Thummim and the Urim that I have in my bosom, so I can have two-way communication. I can receive a text, I can send a text. I can download or upload. I can make a call or receive a call. When we come next week, we're going to show you how God, when he filled you with the Holy Spirit, put a command center down on the inside so that the mystery in you can be untangled. You've got some mysterious things that you've been through, some mysterious things that happen in your life, and people have tried to figure you out and they cannot figure you out. So God sent his agent down on the inside so he could get down in your bosom and say the reason she keeps getting sick is because her heart is broken. And if you will just say yes to God, he begins to minister to you on the inside so that you can be whole on the outside, so that you don't make the mistakes. But that's next Wednesday. Put your hands together and give God some praise.